The views shared on this podcast are personal opinions for conversation and insight only. Guest perspectives are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Kalaj Dame or this podcast. Nothing discussed here should be taken as legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Always do your own research and make decisions based on your individual situation. You produced it's a documentary. Was it Sabbatical?
So Sabbatical, yeah, that's one of the most recent documentaries I produced and directed, along with the Poise Foundation, and that was a good project. Like, in a sense, it was somewhat eye opening. That's the one thing about college that will never change, which is it's an assortment of experiences. And like you said, those assortment of experiences can change somebody's life. Right. It'll change your direction. You might see something while you're at college that will change the way you think about things. UWebTv is urban web television. It is a VOD streaming platform, video on demand streaming platform. So when you think Netflix, UWebTv is Netflix in its infancy. That's always what I try to work on, is finding out what part of the journey I could fall in love with. Because I'm an end result type of person. Like, I want to see the end result. That's really what I want. That's what everybody wants, is the end result. But it's the journey that you got to hold on to, because that's the only thing that keeps you really going. And like you said, one of the things that keep me going is the fact that there's no time limit on success, like you said.
We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast.
Sheesh, I don't even know where to start. Look, so for the audience, I think I'll start with your introduction. So just from what I know about you, whenever there's any filming going on anywhere, you are the person that I see in the city of Pittsburgh, and probably outside the city of Pittsburgh, stuff that I don't even know about. And I'm talking about, I heard a documentary being filmed, there's somebody's working on a movie, someone has a project where there's a professional video team there. Anytime, you are there behind the camera. UWebTv, which to me, my interpretation of it, I'm sure you can correct me if I'm wrong later, but my interpretation of it is like the new and improved underground hip hop almost. Which like features local and underground independent artists and stuff like that. And from my understanding, again, has been running for years consistently. Professional, I don't know what the term would be, cinematographer, videographer.
Yeah, cinematographer, director, producer. I kind of delve into all those realms. DP,
you produced
director of photography.
You produced it's a documentary. Was it Sabbatical?
So Sabbatical, yeah, that's one of the most recent documentaries I produced and directed, along with the Poise Foundation, and that was a good project. Like, in a sense, it was somewhat eye opening, because I kind of focus on faith from being a Christian.
All right, hold on, hold that there. Right. You got to give me that. What's the name of that again?
So
the one you were just talking about?
Sabbatical.
That was the one, the faith.
Yeah,
Christian?
Faith-based documentary with the Poise Foundation. They contracted me. They contracted UWebTv Productions, and I produced and directed it. And basically, it opened my eyes to a couple different things.
Hold that thought. I'm going to take that note. We're going to get there.
All right.
I want to try to keep a significant timeline here, so we ain't jumping all around. So let's start with my introduction to you. My introduction to you, you were rapping. Does anybody know that you used to rap?
No, I don't think people really know that. People don't even really know that part of me. Basically, if they didn't know me from Woodland Hills. They didn't know me from college. They didn't know nothing. They don't know nothing about that.
That's crazy. So first, let me start this with it was definitely a crazy moment. I had a lot of ego back then, and I definitely have to apologize to you for my ego at the time because it was wild. I don't remember exactly how we met. I want to say we exchanged numbers somewhere.
Yep.
And you came over to my crib.
Yeah.
And this was, I live with my mom on the north side on Parkhurst Street. I had my little studio set up. We had to be somewhere between 18, 19 years old. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably 18, 19. That was, so that was actually back.
2000.
And I don't even think we didn't even meet. I don't know if we met in the vein of me rapping. We probably met in the vein of me doing my record company back then.
Maybe.
Yeah, Pensy Records.
I remember something about you saying you made music.
Yep.
I had like vague memories.
Yep. It was so back in that time, because I was around high school, senior year, getting ready to make that transition into college, and me and a couple people got together. B-Raw.
Yeah.
You remember B-Raw? Me, him, Devlin, another guy named Justin. We got together, and I wanted to form the record company, Pensy Records. And so, you was out there producing, you was doing your thing, making music, and that's how we ended up at your spot. You know what I mean? So I don't know, I don't remember what artist I was working with at the time, but that was my first company with music, trying to start a music company. Right? Okay. It was a record company, Pensy Records. And realistically, eventually what it turned into, I think I tried to talk to a couple different artists to try to get them on board. But I think we kind of focused in, and at the time, beat CDs was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would go to Tower Records, you go to the record store in the mall, and you could go buy that bass mix.
Yeah.
You could go buy those beat CDs, and they were popping.
That was the thing.
Yeah. So B-Raw, he made music. He was making beats, and we was like, yo, we're gonna make a beat CD for you, and then that's what we're gonna distribute.
Okay.
But I think that was after I met you.
Okay.
And like I said, I can't recall if I was there rapping. I could have been rapping myself.
I remember you came through, and it was me and my squad. The family was all there. It was at least 2 or 3 of us. And you had started rapping. Again, we were so stuck in our egos. Like, we thought we was the hottest thing on the planet. And you had started rapping, and it was like, I could tell it was, I'm not sure if you were nervous, but it was a little weird of an environment, really close quarters in somebody's room. And maybe, I don't remember exactly, maybe you was fumbling through words or
I probably
was. And one of my homies busted out laughing. We like, no, dog. Like, And the more, over the years, the more I think about it, it's like, fuck, why do I allow that shit to happen? Like, because I've myself had moments like that. I've had moments where I've been in rooms where I've been around celebrities. I remember one time, I think I told somebody this story recently, but I'm rapping. There's like a bunch of celebrities in the studio when I was in Atlanta, and I couldn't get my verse down. And it was like the first time that someone else was recording me and me not recording myself, so the mic wasn't loud enough. I couldn't hear myself. I'm trying to yell. I'm fumbling through words. I don't know the verse. I tried like 5 or 6 times. They was like, all right, come out. I mean, like, I know how that feels. So it's been like eating at my conscience. Like, yeah, that was right. Up, but
hey, something, and I mean, you got a point. Like, it's definitely not good to always to be in those type of situations where it's like I guess putting down other people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it happens, and that's life. And some people fold, and then some people get stronger from it.
True.
You know what I mean? So. And I don't think those type of moments really ever go away, right?
Yeah. I mean, Like that's what kind of helps sharpen you.
Yeah,
like when you
it's
find your lane,
competitive.
right?
Like, life in general is competitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you either got it or you don't.
Right.
And when you realize you don't got it, you either going to be like, yo, I'm going to go get this. I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
Or you going to be like, oh, I'm done with that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and everything ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, because even when it comes to rapping, like, yeah, I was doing that at that time, but it was never necessarily my thing to be a rapper per se.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always wanted to be the conglomerate. That was always my goal.
You mean like owning like company, corporation?
Multiple corporations, yeah. That was always my goal from high school.
Right.
And realistically, that's always directed the way that I move, is because that's still my goal today. At some point, I want to be able to say, you know, I have multiple successful companies. You know, I want to be the companies that own the Mars. You know, like when you look at the cereal aisle, General Mills, there's only like one company that owns most of the cereals.
Right.
You know what I mean? Amongst other brands.
That's a good point right there.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, like, I wanted to be the conglomerate even coming out of high school. So the rapping thing was just, I guess, a means to an end. Because, you know, we all see everybody shining from the music industry.
Right.
So we gravitate towards it. And poetry is poetry. So I was also just a poet.
Yeah.
You know, I always just worked at being a poet at the time. And over time, that kind of faded out. Like, by the time I got to sophomore year in college, the poetry thing kind of died down a little bit. That was probably the last time I probably really rapped.
Was it like, was there a moment like with the record label and everything where you was just like, nah, I ain't doing this no more? Or did it like literally just fade?
It just faded, like, because I was always still pursuing it at that time. And then it just kept transitioning and morphing into something else.
Okay.
So I would try to do the record label. Like I said, I think the last really big hoorah with the record label was when I was trying to put B-Rob on at the time with the Beat CD. And then once the Beat CD, once that kind of went sour, because I kind of left it, at the time, I kind of left it to the team to help sell the CDs. And they weren't really moving them. And I was like, all right, well, you know, that's not going to work out too well. And being the type of person I was, you know, if the sales not moving, it wasn't making sense.
That's literally one of the first top lessons of trying to be like an independent record label. Or, you know, when you starting from the ground with your crew, they ain't gonna put in the work that need done 9 times out of 10. Like you need people specified for that.
Yeah, it's a whole nother team.
Exactly.
Say the artist is the artist. You need a team for that.
Yeah, that's always it. Shoot, I'm going through that right now to a certain extent.
Yeah, that's always the case.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I realized, like, you know, all right, well, I gotta make a pivot. And I think, and I was on my way to college at the time too. So once I got to college, I met some other people, and that actually went from me doing a record label to me doing a nightlife magazine.
Okay.
So then I tried to do the nightlife magazine, and I was still rapping here and there, more so just freestyling every once in a while.
Right.
Trying to keep up with everybody else.
When the last time you tried to rap?
No, sophomore year in college was the last time I tried to rap. That was it. I think I still got that tape in the basement somewhere.
Yeah. Wow.
I met some boys from out in Harrisburg, and like between them, another cat from Houston, another cat from Las Vegas. We just come together in the dorm room. I had the tape recorder where you pop the tape in and hit record. I would hit that record, and we just do freestyle sessions in the dorm room. and just let it go. You know what I mean? So I still got at least one of those tapes in the basement. One day I'll bring it out.
You got to look. Everybody know you rap now, so you gonna have to at some point.
Right. I still got some old lyrics from back in the day when I used to write the lyrics. Like, all right, you know, talk about Superman, put the city on my back. You know what I mean? Like. Just talking nonsense. Like, I ain't gonna say nonsense, but you know the hyperbole. You know how that goes. That's what it was all about. You know what I mean? But I always knew I wasn't gonna be a rapper. You know what I mean? That wasn't what I necessarily wanted to be anyway. If anything, I was more focused on trying to be an actor. But
while in school still?
Yeah, when I was in sophomore year, I was still actually pursuing acting.
What was your major in school?
Communications.
Okay.
So I did communications when I was in college, but you know, I just had to get out of there because I was going to do business and accounting, industrial accounting, and the School of Business was playing around. I was like, no, I gotta go. Like, so I just took the communications degree and called it a wrap. You know what I mean? That's
like communications is for what? Like if you want to be like a radio DJ or something like that? Or?
Yeah, communications is real broad. In this case, it was really communications of rhetoric. Because I didn't have the right people in my corner and they didn't guide me in the right direction. So I wound up graduating communications of rhetoric. And that's mainly for, most people would use that for speech writing. There may be some other jobs that it's associated with, but that's the job that I associated it with.
Okay.
But I wasn't going in that direction. So I kind of let that go because when I came out of college, you know, I interned at WQED with Chris Moore. Okay. And I linked up with Ime, who got me into WAMO, and I interned at WAMO. So and I met him on a bus. That's how I even found out about interning at WAMO. So it was crazy. You know what I mean?
So the degree helped out? Like you can say
the degree definitely helped out because at the end of the day, I don't sit there and say communications is rhetoric normally.
Right.
It's just communications. So, and it's still same, like you said, it's kind of the same realm.
Yeah.
Because I learned business communications and I learned everything that's associated with that. I just didn't go into the nitty gritty of broadcast journalism.
You know what? This just hit me. It's not something that's written down, but I'm dying to know this. As a person that has a college degree, you know how there's like conversations going around that college is a scam, it's unnecessary. Me personally, like I'm an electrical engineer. I say that all the time on the podcast. People listen to it. But I also say I see, not always, but usually a clear difference between someone that's college educated and someone that isn't. And I say not everyone because there are, at least I believe, some people that are just exceptionally gifted at being curious and being self-taught, putting themselves in the right rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For everyone else, I feel like there's just a complete separation, and there are things in college, just like personality-wise, and things that'll help you to put you in the right room and keep you in the right room that you just can't even fathom. Like, I don't even know how to put it into words exactly what it is. Like, you have to experience it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about college that will never change, which is it's an assortment of experiences. And like you said, those assortment of experiences can change somebody's life. It'll change your direction. You might see something while you're at college that will change the way you think about things. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily that people need college, but it's one of those things where else do you experience being in that small group environment where you see everybody working, everybody's working towards the same thing, and you know, you have all those experiences at your fingertips.
And it's with like people from all over usually.
Yeah.
Where you get to rub shoulders and learn. I guess that's a good point. The experience of it.
that's really what it is. So it's like, even if, because I mean, I don't necessarily recommend college for people who don't know what they want to do necessarily, because that's a big bill.
Right.
Like
right.
It's a big bill no matter how you put it. Now, if you were blessed enough to have the grades to say I could get this scholarship and go to school for free, or if you got someone else in your corner that could pay for you to go to school, then cool. But if you don't know what you want to do, like, you might want to figure that out before you drop $60,000.
The cons don't justify the experience gained from.
Nah. You gotta know somewhat what you want to do. Even if it's not a clear idea of what you want to do, you at least say, what most kids need is like, you know what, you're gonna be a lawyer. Yeah. I don't care what you think you want to do, but that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna be a lawyer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not I want to. It's like, this is my plan. Right? Now, if that changes while you're there, okay, but you're on a track to be a lawyer.
Right.
You know, but for those people to just be like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna just go be a history major. Okay.
Yeah, that works. Be a art major in literature and
If you're not gonna be an academic, you don't want to be in those majors. Like academics, it might make sense because they're going to be in academia as their career.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
academia, like schools be having big budgets, universities and stuff. That makes sense.
Yep, because you become a tenure professor, like you locked in. Like you locked in at that point. But if that's not your goal, then you might want to think a little bit. And that's what I was. You know, and like you said, electrical engineer, like that's something that you could apply. Yeah. Like, but a lot of people that wind up doing some of these other degrees, hopefully that's what they chose to do.
Right.
And then not only that, hopefully they had a plan when they chose it. Because if you don't have a plan when you choose a degree like that, that's tough. Even with communications. Yeah. Because communications is so broad that it's like, what's your plans with that? You know, it's not just broadcast journalism. It's not, it's not just writing in a newspaper. Like, communications is more than that. So it's not just marketing. There's a lot to it. So
that's dope. Sounds like it covers a broad range of jobs. Like if you say you got a communications degree, you could probably fit in a few different places. And
There's a lot of places. Even when it just comes to public speaking. You know what I mean? So, but for me, I knew I was always going to be in entertainment. So that's why I did WQED, then I did WAMO. The only mistake I felt I made is I did them both the same summer. So I split my time, and because I split my time, then no one barely remembered me because I was both places. Right. I was there half the time. You know what I mean? So, but I still got the skills. Yeah, that was during my senior year. Okay. Yep, my senior year, I was on my way out, and that's when I did those internships.
What was that, like grabbing coffee type shit, or?
No, it was actual work. Like at WQED, we worked on a show on cue with Chris Moore, and we got to log all the content. We log all the content, which is literally just typing up everything that happened on the show, word for word. Or if they did a documentary, you typing up the documentary, talking time code stamps, all that information. So it was a lot. And then, but we also got to put together our own show package that was on part of the magazine show on cue. So that was cool in itself. And we did a segment on the hip hop music scene. You know what I mean? So that was my first television documentary, was actually the hip hop magazine. The hip hop segment we did on cue. I don't think they have that segment anymore. I always wish I would have grabbed a copy of it, but I never did. Never did. Because that's how I met Justin at the Shadow Lounge. And,
Justin Strong, yeah.
Yeah, and we had footage from over there.
That's a good point. I need to get Justin in
there. Yeah. Oh yeah, Justin is a great person to talk to. You know what I mean?
He I don't know if it was my first show. I threw shows at the Shadow Lounge quite a few times. It was always because we looked at the Shadow Lounge like it was a backpacker spot. So we used to try to come up with campaigns where it was like the hood niggas take over the backpackers. Because I didn't know anything about no other street dudes that had performed at the Shadow Lounge.
Yeah.
Not at the time. And it was like, it's like the only thing we could afford.
Right.
And it's mostly backpackers in here, but fuck it, we gonna do it.
Yeah, because it was like the Shadow Lounge, like you said, that's mostly like, I always term it as the hardcore hip hop scene.
Yeah.
Right. So then you got the commercial hip hop, which is like you said, most of the people from the hood doing the commercial hip hop, but then you got the backpackers that's doing the hardcore hip hop, where it's like, what are y'all talking about?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But yeah, everybody used to do shows at the Shadow Lounge. I think I did at least like 2 shows at the Shadow Lounge again.
Back when you was rapping?
So I didn't rap. That's when. So basically, I was putting artists on the stage. Okay. So I was always trying to put people on. That was always my goal, and it still is my goal, is to put people on. So I try my best to put people on. I don't think people see it that way, because a lot of people kind of just part ways. But to each their own.
You mean like now, currently?
Oh yeah, as recently as last year, I had somebody part ways from me.
Really?
But yeah.
We're going to get in there. I'm going to take a note on that.
But it's just one of those situations where, people have different opinions, and I see things one way and they see things another way. And so, you just mutually agree to go your own way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it's said or unsaid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my goal has always been to find out how to put people on. And I'm slow to move on things, but it's because the way I want to put people on, it requires a lot of resources and it requires time. But I have to live too.
Right.
So if I don't have those resources, then, and if I can't pull together the resources, then it takes me a longer time to make things happen.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of times people just don't want to wait for me. So they move on and say, oh, I can get it. Maybe they can get it done faster on their own. And some people have.
I've experienced similar stuff. With me, I wouldn't say it's more resources. For me, it's more, like I have a engineer mind in general. So I'm very analytical of everything. I'm always looking at, the data. Are we prepared? Do we have all our ducks in a row?
Right.
Where if it's not a plan and I can't see a clear vision with all the steps to the end goal, then it's like, no, we can't move yet. Like, and to an extent, it might be that I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but at the same time, I need to understand everything that's moving, that's going on, and it needs to be done properly. Excuse me, just simply because I try to avoid bottlenecks, gates, blocks, or whatever. And then I don't want to reach a certain point while we're running full speed and we just stuck and, can't go no further. So, people get upset at times and have recently where they're like, oh, we don't agree with this, or I don't want to do it that way or whatever. And last podcast I had before this one, there were people who was upset. They were like, man, why don't we just record and just put it out there? And I'm like, you can't just put it out. Like,
right? Yeah.
Like we need the clips. We need somebody doing the clips all this time. We need the business information, the employee ID number. Like if something does go viral, we get monetized and start getting paid for it. We ain't got no business.
How we gonna money coming in? Right?
Like there's so many other things that need to be in place before. Like what's the plan? How are we, working on the titles, the thumbnails? Who's going to do all of this? So.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. People always want to skip the line, and it's like, you really can. Everything's going to always be a process, and unfortunately, the society we live in requires paperwork. Back when I was doing Pixie Records, they used to make jokes at me because they was like, I was a paper pusher. You know what I mean? But it's like, there's a reason this stuff needs to be in place.
Exactly.
And if it's not in place, then it don't matter what type of success you get, you won't be able to capitalize off of it.
Right.
And some people are okay with that. They're okay with just getting accolades from the street, getting accolades from people they see in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like some people are okay with that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if you want to be able to say, I could pay my bills doing this, then everything got to be in order. Paperwork got to be done.
Like you said, you're trying to build this company up, right? Multiple companies.
Yeah.
So when we go from your college communications and stuff like that, I'm assuming there's probably a bunch of other things in the middle between there and this video guy, right?
Right.
I definitely want to hear the juicy stuff. I'm also super curious in, like, I guess the path, the road to the video stuff.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I said, I always knew I wanted to be in entertainment. And at one point, I was a model while I was in high school. And then when I got to college, I tried to do acting. I was on the stage a little bit, did some theater. And then once I realized the acting thing might not have been for me, that's when I transitioned behind the camera. And I started trying to do different things behind the camera, starting with WQED. And that's why I worked interned over there. I tried to get a job there. They didn't have no opportunities for me at WQED. So, when I interned at WAMO at the same time, they offered me a position there as an audio journalist. So that's kind of where I landed at, was on radio. And I stayed there for a while and tried to see where that was going to take me. I probably did that for like maybe 3 years or so. But it was just part-time. And once I realized it was never going to be full-time, for whatever reason, I said, okay, I'm done with that. And then that's when I decided to make the video production a full-time gig for me. And then ever since I made that decision, ever since I left, it was actually called American Urban Radio Networks. So a lot of people don't know that. So there's Sheridan Broadcasting and WAMO, but Sheridan Broadcasting also owned American Urban Radio Networks, which own 500 stations across the country. Okay. So I would do things like produce the Bev Smith Show, and that would be heard on 500 stations across the country, and people didn't even realize it because for some reason AURN never wanted to make their presence felt in Pittsburgh, even though they were kind of operating out of Pittsburgh. But yeah, once I decided to leave that, I made video production full time, and I never looked back. I might have held like maybe 2 9-to-5s after that, but I didn't hold them very long, and they were actually through temp agencies. And I got to a point where it's like, I'm not hearing back from corporate America when I was applying for jobs. So I was like, forget it. I'm just keep doing my own thing.
That's crazy. So you just basically been running your own company, doing your own thing, paying yourself, like living out for what you do.
Yeah.
That, I was just talking, you'll probably see this week, I'm gonna release an interview with DJ Steve Maffey, but I was talking to him about that transition from like working to doing what you love. I mean, it's difficult, especially now where, most of us like peers, we got kids and everything else where, like, how was your situation? How were you able to switch from working for a job?
It's a little bit easier at that time because we didn't have that many responsibilities.
Right.
I didn't have no kids at the time, so the only person I had to worry about was myself. So it wasn't too hard. And then I had a roommate at the time, so that kind of split the rent. Okay. So I was okay for the most part. Right. I didn't need that much money, so anybody doing it that has kids, it definitely makes it a little bit harder. Yeah. But most people will tell you, and a lesson that I kind of never learned, is it's better to have that 9-to-5 until you're stable enough, or if you have at least a year or two saved up, to make that transition into full-time work for myself, self-employment. But most people, they're scared to make that transition. Most people will never quit that 9 to 5.
It's scary. It definitely is. So like for me, for example, I couldn't, if I made 80% of what I make now, I wouldn't be able to quit.
Right.
Like I would probably need like 120% of what I make now, maybe even more. Matter of fact, what I would probably do is pay off all my debt first.
Right.
Pay off all my bills.
That's the most important part.
Yeah. Get my bills down first. And then that way I don't necessarily need to make as much. But yeah, I guess once you get to a certain point in making that amount of money, then you can use your business, collateral, borrow against it. And you kind of like in the win.
Now you kind of survive.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother element to it, because just coming up with strategies.
Yeah.
Because, there's jobs out here that make it beneficial to pursue artistic careers. Like, even if you say like construction, especially doing anything in like oil, gas, electric, working for those companies, because you could probably work 6 months straight, racking all this money, and then say, you know what, I'm taking the rest of the year off to pursue my artistic career. So 6 months you could do the 9 to 5, 6 months you just doing your artistic job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs like that. I know some union jobs kind of give you that much time off and stuff. Yeah,
there's jobs out there that's like that, or even people who be getting into teaching. You figure you teach during the school year, then in summer you pursuing your career.
Man.
You know what I mean? So it's like coming up with the strategy that's going to best fit you.
Right.
Like if you want to pursue an artistic career, because when it comes to music, realistically, you don't need a whole lot of time. Like in the summertime, you could come up with your marketing plan. You could come up with a whole album in the summer. And then once you got the marketing plan and the album in the summertime, then now school start back up, you just focus on releasing everything. You just focus on the marketing.
Right.
Like, which you don't necessarily have to step away to do the marketing and the releases.
Right.
Like, and you might pop out to do an interview every once in a while, but it's not as hard to do those parts versus like, oh man, I gotta figure everything out the whole year, and then like, no, you just figure it out in the summertime, then the rest of the year, like,
just kind of
get the money.
Roll with it. Yeah.
Get the 9 to 5 money the rest of the year. Summertime, yo, I'm getting this artist situation straight.
Right.
And if you make money from the artist side, that's even better, because now you getting double the money throughout the rest of the year.
I've been I always try to explain to people, every artist that either come through these doors or, that I talk to, they come like, oh, I need management, stuff like that. My number one thing to tell them all the time, make at least cell phone money.
Right.
If you can be profitable enough to where you can pay your cell phone bill, like that literally is a form of success.
Yeah,
where,
that's true.
If you got your ASCAPs and your Sound Exchange and all of that stuff, and any song could possibly go viral or whatever, but stay consistent. Consistent to the point to where you're making $10, $20 a month. Once you figure out how to do that, multiply, dive in.
That's the other part of it, is like they don't pay attention to what has worked for them and what hasn't. Like it'll be like, I'm gonna just go do all this. I'm gonna go into the studio. I'm gonna drop this record. I'm gonna promote it. Then I'm just gonna move on to the next one. They never look at what they've done, and they never track what they've done.
That's 1,000% accurate.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't even know what. I keep saying they, not necessarily they, but some people don't know what to look for.
Yeah.
Where, like you said, marketing before, where some people just have no idea what marketing is.
Right.
And they equivalent it to paying for a Facebook ad or, advertising basically.
Yeah.
Whereas there's like a whole strategy of it. Like a chess board, you got to figure out, what's your strategy to get, from point A to point B. How are you going to use this color or that color?
Right.
And branding. Branding's another big thing that I feel like most people
don't look at it. It all plays into the whole marketing piece, branding, everything.
Yeah.
The strategy of how you're going to release it, how you're going to get your sales, how you're going to collect your data. Like, all that is important. And a lot of them kind of just let it drop to the wayside or don't think about it. And that's why a lot of people are actually talking about ways to educate the artists now. And I've tried to create a publication a while ago. Like I said, a long time ago when I was in college, there was Nightlife magazine. That publication, I was going to have different elements for music artists in there. And then fast forward to probably like 2016 or so, I started trying to do a whole nother magazine called Digital Indie, where I was talking to people who were A&Rs, people who worked in distribution, and people who wanted to be actual record execs, and putting that information in the magazine to get it out to the artists so that they could learn. Like, because a lot of it is just an educational piece. So, because a lot of artists don't know, and now you got a whole new group of artists coming up that they think YouTube is everything. You know what I mean? But there's more to it. Yeah. And even though YouTube is a good platform, right? Everyone's complaining like, oh, we're not getting money from Spotify, we're not getting money from YouTube, we're not. All right, so why are we still on it? Like, you see a lot of people complaining, but I don't see a whole lot of websites popping up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, at this point, you would think almost every artist out there would have their own website by now. Yeah. Like, because I know if I was a new artist coming up, that's probably one of the first things I'm doing. Now, you have a few artists that get smart, and usually it's more seasoned artists that are doing it right now. Right. But yeah, they go get the website, and they put the album out there, and they collect all the money.
You know what? This concept that I learned recently, and I don't know why I never thought about it during my career, but the idea that there are super fans out there that will buy everything you have, right? Even if it's 5 people. If there's 5 people that have a CD player that right now, 2026, will buy your CD to have on their CD player. They support you that much.
Right.
Right? That's $50.
Yeah.
Just imagine, I'm going to go home to my studio, record these songs, burn it on CD, and every week I'm going to go to these same 5 people and sell them a CD for $10 a piece.
Yep.
And make my $50 a week.
Yep. And as long as you got new music, they supporting you.
And you could literally do that. And while you're doing that, go out and try to meet more people to add to that list of people.
Yep.
And just wash, rinse, repeat, and do that same thing.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Until eventually you got hundreds, if not thousands of people that are all super fans and literally want to buy everything that you have to sell every week or however often.
And it's really one of those things where it's easy to say and it feels easy.
Yeah.
It take work.
Yeah.
But it just sounds so simple.
It does, but I'm saying it, at least for me, it's reasonable only because I was the guy that stood outside selling my CDs. And I absolutely know there was people that if I had a new CD for sale that was mine, they would buy it. I never thought about the idea of, you have your own studio, just go home, make a new song and sell it to them. For me, it was the same CD and I'm just going, give you the CD. But now in the days of, it's not really albums no more, it's songs.
Yeah.
Kids making songs every day. For us back then, it was like, I'm going to make this album and I'm going to try to sell this album as much as I can for the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
And then worry about putting another album out.
Yeah.
If it's songs every day,
But you know, that's a whole nother challenge with artists, because like you said, they'll make an album. Back in the day, they'll make that CD, and then they're on to the next one after. Like, I don't even think most of them waited 6 months. They was literally on to the next one after 2 months.
True.
You know what I mean? So, but when you think about the national artists and when you think about the successful artists, they really sold that same album for a whole year.
Yeah.
And then after they sold the album for a year, the next year, they was touring.
And
So it was the same set list.
exactly. And they're not even selling it. Now they just put it online and okay, I'm done. Next one.
They just touring, which still pretty much just promotes the album. So in some cases, I think, like, I'm not 100% sure because I don't study as much as I probably could, but I want to say some of those artists was promoting one album for 2 years. So it's like with that in mind, I never understood why the independent artists never studied and paid attention to the national artists in a way they move. And they would put out albums, like I said, every 2 weeks or every 2 months. Like, you ain't finished promoting the first album. You moving on to the second. Now you got 20 albums that got $500. In some cases, didn't get nothing. Like, it don't make sense.
Exactly.
And I actually even apply that logic to when I do filmmaking. You know, after a while, I did a few shorts. And most of them didn't really get too much traction, but they didn't get too much traction because I didn't promote them. And I didn't really put them out there the way I probably should have.
Right.
But then that's when I also realized, why am I going to keep putting out mediocre work when I could take my time, get my skill set together, put my mind in the right place, make sure that I have the resources necessary to promote it or the knowledge to promote it, and then work on a solid project that's going to get me somewhere. You know, a lot of people get to the place where they just want to keep putting content out.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it might make a little bit more sense, but it depends on what your goal is.
Right.
You know, nowadays, everybody's just trying to build up their channel. So, and, you know, YouTube, people not worried about quality on YouTube.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
So it make more sense for them to just keep putting stuff out there until they get enough views. But that's also because of the model that YouTube has, which is same thing with Spotify. The model of the streams where, like, you got to get 1 million streams just to get a decent check.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep putting it out there until I get a decent amount of streams.
They changed it up a little bit, though, for YouTube. So what I've been experiencing is, first of all, subscribers don't matter. Like, it kind of matters.
Crazy in itself. Yeah.
It is. So with YouTube's algorithm, it's YouTube, it's Instagram, or Meta. I'm not sure about TikTok, but it doesn't necessarily matter how many followers you have. It puts it in front of a new audience for every piece of content. So for each individual video, you say, you know, like this, for example, maybe we clip it up. One clip is talking about you in school. One clip is talking about you rapping. Those could go out to completely different audiences.
Right.
And not even the subscribers. So if they send it out to, let's just say, 200 people, hey, do y'all like this where he's talking about college? You know, not many people's clicking on it. If they do, they cancel, you know, close it in 3 seconds. That's going to sit there with like 10 views. Whereas another one where we're talking about video or something like that, that could get thousands of views. But none of that has any, like, I could have 10 subscribers on the channel and one video gets 3 views and one gets 20,000 views. Or you could have 50,000 subscribers and all your videos are getting 100 views. Like,
Right. It's one of those things, like, they build it to suit themselves.
yeah.
And that's the challenge, because everybody's going to gravitate towards it. and it's hard to build your own following.
Yeah.
And even still building your own platform, it requires so much because it's a money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a money thing. You know, if you have enough money, you can make it work. But if you don't have enough money,
You're stuck.
yeah, it's not gonna work. Because even with so I have a website now, and that's where I put all my content on right now, is the UWebTv.com.
Yeah.
And on UWebTv.com, the struggle is I have to make sure that it's just as fast as any other website because that's what people are used to. If you visit the website, you want to be able to watch the content, you know, like this, and not sit there and wait for things to load. You know, so when you start running into those problems, then you're not going to get traction.
All right, hold up. That touching on something I wanted to dive into. I ain't even had that written down, but that is some solid information. UWeb website.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
All of this conversation we got so far, like going down the rabbit hole, getting off track, tells me that I'm sitting in front of a businessman, a man that knows what he's talking about, that has met some failures and some challenges, and maybe dealt with some people that taught you a few things, had some experiences that like chiseled out a solid businessman up to this point, right? How does that take you to this monster of a video producer, putting together documentaries, filming everything?
All right. I mean, everything's just about building up relationships.
Okay.
The more relationships you build, the more rooms you get into. And when you start getting into certain rooms, you start hearing certain conversations. And, you know, as they say, information is power. And once you get little pieces of information and you learn what to do with that information, then, you know, you start to get more opportunities. And the biggest part of it is really consistency too. You know, everybody struggles with being consistent, but the more consistent you are, the more people can rely on you. And the more people they can rely on you, the more opportunities you get.
Was that intentional? Like the networking and...
For me, it wasn't even intentional. It just happened to happen that way based on who I am, my character, the way that I move. You know, a lot of people, you know, get along with me.
Yeah.
And since they get along with me and they see what I could do, like they're willing to work with me. So it's not intentional at all. But as time goes on, it starts to become a little bit more intentional because, again, information is power. When you start realizing and start looking inward to see like, okay, I need to change this, I need to change that, then now you can start being a little bit more intentional about what you're doing. Because even in my intentionality nowadays, you know, I actually want to pull back because there's only so much time in a day, so you have to sit there and determine, like, who do you want to be?
Yeah.
Where do you want to be at? Because in my case, if I want to be a film director, then you need to focus on being a film director. But a lot of times we get caught up in other activities that are adjacent and chasing money.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what I catch myself doing, is chasing money, because my goal, one of my goals and one of my long-term strategies was always to build a company, a successful company. Then that could, instead of having to ask everybody for money and find investors, I could front my own projects.
Right.
But you have to have that successful company to do that first.
So like a Tyler Perry?
Kind of like a Tyler Perry, but he went a whole different route, you know, because, you know, from his story, from what I understand, he slept in his car.
Yeah.
You know, he did what he had to say, again, he was more intentional about what he wanted to do. I'm going to do this play, and it don't matter if it's not making money or not. If I gotta go sleep at so-and-so's house, I'm gonna go sleep at so-and-so's house.
Right.
If I don't have nowhere else to sleep, I'm gonna sleep in this car. But the play's going on.
Right.
Right. I think that's the way. I would think that that's the way Tyler Perry was moving at that time.
Right.
Like, I don't care what else is going on. This play is happening. Right. I'm directing this play.
Yeah.
So, and he didn't get sidetracked. He didn't say, "Oh, well, I need to get a couple dollars, so I'm gonna go do this job over here. I'm gonna go do that job over there." No, he said, "I'm doing this play." You know what I mean? So
you don't think you could do the same? Like
so I could do the same,
yeah.
but again, those are the things that get in people's way, where it's like you have to be willing to, in a sense, suffer. You have to be willing to give up on things to be able to move forward. That's why they say you take 2 steps back to take a step forward.
Yeah.
Because depending on what your goal is, you might have to give up a couple things.
Right.
So until you're willing to give those things up, it's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be more of a challenge to achieve what you set out, what you really want to achieve.
Right.
Because for me, again, I more so kind of lean towards the business side of things and towards getting to the money. So right now, if it don't involve money, I'm probably not doing too much of it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of projects I do that don't involve money. Yeah. But I try not to do too much of it because then it takes away from everything else.
So speaking of money, UWebTv. Was that started for money?
So UWebTv was started, I would say it was started, the goal was money, but there definitely was no money to be made at the time. So this is how UWebTv started.
Wait. Before you go into
All
that,
right.
explain exactly what it is first.
All right. So UWebTv is Urban Web Television. It is a VOD streaming platform, video on demand streaming platform. So when you think Netflix, UWebTv is Netflix in its infancy, right? So, or you could almost even say, I don't want to say it's YouTube in its infancy because YouTube is always user generated. So it's more like Netflix in its infancy.
Okay. So the content already exists.
Yeah, we create the content, we put it up, we partner with other creators, and we're always looking for content.
And it's not specifically music videos, it's any video content?
It's any video. We do, it actually right now is primarily series and
so like
films.
A Tubi.
Yeah, so kind of like Tubi.
Okay.
Yep, kind of like Tubi. So the only difference between us and Tubi is Tubi is backed by a major company and they kind of cater, they let anybody come in the beginning. Whereas we're a little bit more curated. Okay. All right. Right now, we're not even actively searching for content, but we welcome any content. Okay. But we're looking for quality content at the same time. Some of the projects that we have on there right now is we have Ed Bailey's comedy special on UWebTv right now. He's a comedian that we filmed his comedy special. We also have a couple filmmakers that I helped make their film. Reese Redwood is one of them. And we're actually going to put up TJ's another filmmaker. I help with his film projects. So we going to put Perception on there. That's one of the projects that he has on there. House of Stones is Reese Redwood's project. Then we have the documentary Sabbatical on there. Then we have a few of my short films on there, such as Unrelated. Everybody gets a kick out of Unrelated. That's a short film. It's about 5 minutes. So everybody gets a kick out of that. So I would say definitely go check out Unrelated on uwebtv.com.
Unrelated, got it.
Yeah, they get a kick out of that one.
So you get paid from it now?
No, I don't get paid from it right now.
The website in general.
Yeah, the website doesn't pay me right now, but I could turn that option on anytime I want to because it's my website. So it is a subscription-based website.
Okay.
The goal is to collect, basically collect viewers and basically just collecting subscribers so that we could build on it before we start trying to charge. Most platforms start off free, and then once you get to capacity, then that's when you turn the lights on. Like, all right, we all here. All right, now it's going to be $2.
Or you could do like advertising too, right?
Yeah, there's also the advertising model, but the advertising model takes a little bit more time. Which if you've reached a certain level of subscribers, it works out. But the paid model is faster.
Yeah. Where did I get the idea of like a music countdown?
So that's one of the shows that's on UWebTv.com. So the music video countdown is the Post Top 10.
The Post.
All right.
Okay.
So
got it.
This is how, like I said, that's UWebTv.com. The way UWebTV started, I was in college, and again, WQED interned there, interned at WAMO, figuring stuff out. I think YouTube really started becoming popular around 2006. That's around the time that I graduated. That's when YouTube started kind of taking off.
Yeah.
I think they probably started in like 2003 or 2000, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
But I wasn't even aware of YouTube at the time. And I was trying to create my video platform. So I was on YouTube's heels before YouTube was popping.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The only difference is
money.
They had the resources, I didn't. So at that time, I started out, again, video on demand. And I really was trying to connect with other websites that were already moving at the time, which was Soul Pit with Donna Baxter and Brother Ash Magazine with Brother Ash.
Yeah.
So I met up with them. I said, hey, it would be perfect to add video to your websites. This is before anybody else was really adding a whole lot of video to their website.
Right.
So I tried to get them to add video to their websites, and I met with them. And at the time, for some reason, it just didn't work out. I don't know if they didn't want to do it or they weren't seeing it at the time, right? So it just didn't work out. So then I just went on and continued to make my own website. And that's when, I also was doing my other video production company before UWebTV Productions was IDI Productions. And I did that in partnership with Devin Hammonds. Okay. And so me and Devin started IDI Productions. He came up with the name. I came up with the business outline and the plan and everything. And we started doing multiple shows and started hitting the clubs. I want to say I was filming with almost every major promoter in the city at that time. We was filming with Exclusive Entertainment, which was Jamal. And then Bum was involved with it too for a little bit. Then, which was also Money Motivated. Both of those were under Bum and then Jamal. Money Motivated, I think, was more so Bum, and then Exclusive Entertainment was Jamal. Right. Then there was B. Marshall, of course. He was doing his thing in the clubs. Cordell, he was doing his thing in the clubs. Even all the way back to, most people don't even realize back in college, most people might even know back in college, he has his own record label now called Since the 80s. And he actually had, he was a promoter back then when we were in college. He was, I want to say, a year under me probably.
Who's that?
His name is Barry. And he he pretty much, I want to say he founded Since the 80s, which is a label. It's a pretty big label right now. But back then, I think they were called the Rosemen. I want to say that was his group that when they was out there promoting the events when I was in college. And again, he was probably a year under me because there's a group of people before him. Yeah, we was out filming all these different events. And then since I had my relationship with WAMO, because I interned there, you know, I was at almost every major WAMO event. They had us film Summer Jam. And so we were in there behind the scenes doing interviews with groups like Cherish. You know, we was getting content with Common. We did their interviews. We were everything at the time.
Right.
A lot of the promoters called us to come film their events. And not only that, some of them started calling us to do their commercials on television. So that's what we did at the time. Me, Devin, with Adiyat Productions. And then eventually we was like, we want to create our own content. And I started transitioning everything over to UWebTv. I created UWebTv so that we could create our own content and put it out there on our own website. Because there wasn't too many popular websites back then that was made for just video content.
So this is the thing with Devin?
Yeah.
UWebTv?
So Adiyat Productions started with Devin, and then we both did UWebTv. Okay. And then he eventually branched off and started doing promotional push.
Right.
But that was a lot later. By the time he started doing promotional push, I want to say that was by the time we got to we actually had an office in the Diamond Building.
Right.
That I brought everybody together. I said, yo, we're going to go downtown. We're going to get an office in the Diamond Building. And, you know, Devin brought Lee Davis on. So it was me, Devin, and Lee Davis downtown in the Diamond Building. And that's pretty much where he started promotional push. And I was doing UWebTv. Right. And everybody was supposed to be helping me with UWebTv. And that's what we were down there doing. And it kind of transformed into 3 separate companies instead of one company. But, you know, we was down there doing what we had to do. You know what I mean? And everybody made things shake while they were down there. You know, again, I was still covering, I started doing more major events as far as the video production. And then Devin was helping me with that. And, you know, he was working with the models and stuff at that time. Right. And he was doing his promotional, you know, services to the different promoters. Because we would always be like, all right, the promoters would hire Devin to go hand out the flyers, and I would help Devin hand out the flyers. Right. You know, that was our thing. Like, you know, I did the video, Devin did the flyers. It all came together, and Devin would help me with the video. So it all kind of came together. But coming back to UWebTV, since we want to create our own content, that's where UWebTV came from. So then that's when we started doing interview shows, like from the bottom up. We did a lot of interview shows at that time. We did the bottom up. We was out interviewing different celebrities at even down at the Improv, you know, and then some people would bring the comedians in. We would interview them at Donzi's, you know what I mean? So we were at different places doing these interviews. We got Monique. We even got Kevin Hart. Oh, wow. We interviewed Kevin Hart briefly. So we interviewed a lot of people in the city. And while we were doing that, that's when UWebTV started gaining traction, and the Bottom Up show gained a little bit of traction. And eventually I said, you know what, I want to do a music video countdown show. And that's when I started trying to do the music video countdown show. People, I might have to post the pictures maybe sometime soon, but people don't even know that there was a time where I said, just to do for promotion for the video countdown show, I said, I'm going to put the artist on a billboard. So I got a billboard down on Carson Street, and it had Hardo on there, WAPO on there, you know, and the whole idea was I was going to sell portions of this billboard out to different artists.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it'd be like, but the first run, I did them on my own. I just did it.
Right.
But it was a test run for saying like, oh, we got this billboard. If you want to be on it, $50, $100. You know what I mean?
Did it work?
We never took it to the next level. You know, because again, like I said, you start chasing other things, things fall to the wayside.
Did it help advertising wise? Like, did it bring attention?
It definitely brought attention, but I like to think of it as a curse. For some reason, when I do certain things, somehow I don't get attention for it. Everybody else gets attention for it. Like I fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
Because even with the diamond building situation,
Yeah.
the lease is under my name.
Yeah.
I brought everything down to the diamond building.
Yeah.
But the people who get the most recognition from it is not me.
You know what? I can see that though, because like I've always known you to kind of be like the quiet behind the scenes type, where anytime I seen you in a room, your energy is always just like mellow and cool. And it's like, okay, Devin's here and Brett is helping him. Or, you know, Rough Bones here and Brett is helping him.
Yeah.
Like, and it's literally just because your personality isn't like overbearing and commanding of, hey, you over there, move this, do that. You just kind of like cool with the camera. But not in a negative way, especially because you're in every room.
Right.
So with you, like, explain this to me and me hearing like this story of beginning to end, well, not end, but, you know, beginning all the way up to now, it's kind of like, that makes sense. Like, it literally makes sense that the guy that is behind, you know, these certain things that I never knew about is you, specifically because, like, you're always around. So it's like, this has to be the guy. But it to me, it fits in that concept of, like, when you first mentioned, like, I want to be the dude that has this company or these companies. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. So there's part of me that wants to be the face, but there's also part of me that's not worried about being the face. Because the money isn't always in being the face.
Right.
Because when you think about all the talent that we know, they make a lot of money.
Yeah. If they make a lot of money, the people signing their checks,
they make even more.
Exactly.
So again, my goal was always to be the conglomerate.
Right.
So, you know, it's always a challenge when people's egos get in the way and stuff, and everybody has one.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to control mine because I know for a fact, like, yeah, I want to shine, but I don't need shine. Like, I want to be able to do what I want to do.
Right.
That's more important to me. I want to be able to have the money to say, if I want to throw a concert tomorrow, I'm going to throw a concert tomorrow. And I want the ability to say, if I throw a concert tomorrow, I know 1,000 people want to show up. I know 30,000 people want to show up because I have the infrastructure to do so. That's better than, you know, being at the forefront.
It is. At the same time, I don't know.
It's a catch-22.
It in my head, I feel like I'm seeing. I mean, so I always ask people, are they successful? Like every person that comes to this table, I try to ask them, try to remember.
Right.
And as you tell me this story, the first thing's popping out is like, you're not working a 9 to 5. Like, you're living off of your stuff, right? And then my perception, again, you're in all of these different rooms. Like, you are the video guy, period, for Pittsburgh entertainment. And sure, maybe there's some other people somewhere. Maybe there's some really good companies somewhere doing some things. But when it comes to Black Pittsburgh and, like, our community, you are the guy. And whether or not there's some other guys around that could or whatever, you are still in that conversation and are always in that conversation. Where I see it like if Brett wants to make a short film and decides to clip it up and put it all over YouTube or whatever, he has that opportunity.
Yeah. Yep.
He's in the room with all of these people, with all of these ideas and resources and stuff like that, where it kind of feels like you can, like, you have it all, like the whole chessboard in front of you, and you could just like master the game. Like, do you feel that way?
Oh yeah, I definitely have resources that I can make a lot of different things happen, and I think, and again, information is power, because a lot of people don't realize what they can do, right? I just had a conversation the other day with somebody where we were talking about, you know, when you go to block off streets or block off a bridge downtown, it's not that expensive.
Yeah,
it's not that expensive to do it.
permit to block off.
To block it off. Now you still got to have some money because you still got to be able to pay for the police and everything to be able to patrol that situation. But you know, ultimately, it's still not that expensive to do.
Isn't it like more difficult, like the application where you have to like specify what you're doing exactly and all of that other stuff?
Yeah, because you got to know, you got to add the details. So I would say it's probably more difficult to explain what you're doing than it is to actually make it happen. You know, because a lot of people, they don't put the planning into it. So, and that's what it comes down to. If you could plan it, then you could probably make it happen.
That's like the Slappers and Bangers. They
that event is crazy. Yeah.
It is, right?
I've never been to it, but just seeing it online, that event is crazy.
I never even heard of it, like till last year.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy, and I'm like, where did they come from? Like, I didn't see an advertisement for it or nothing.
Right.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's weird that the Pittsburgh is that way, where you have these pockets of people, and they get information, and if you don't get it, you just don't get it.
Just don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, they had a pocket of people, and that pocket of people was big enough to support what they were doing. And they just kept rocking it out year after work. That's just like even the location that they started in. I want to say it was Thunderbirds that they started in. I didn't really know about that spot. And I think even before, I may be wrong, I will have to look into that. Because I was thinking that Thunderbirds used to be Spirit, but I don't know if that's right.
Nah, Thunderbird
is a whole different place.
They've been Thunderbird for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
I remember I think it was 2010. Yeah, my
2010? Wow.
29th birthday. Even before then, I remember them being there. But I threw my 29th birthday, I had an event there.
Okay.
And they used to have in the back, it used to be like a roller skating area. I don't know if they still have it.
Okay.
So like a huge dance floor, wooden floor, whatever. They used to have roller skating.
That's crazy.
Going on inside of there.
Meanwhile, I never knew about Thunderbirds.
And the one right next to up the street from Arsenal.
Okay, yeah.
Right next to the little, it's like a Get-Go or gas station or something like that.
Yeah.
Across from Wendy's.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the dude, he was the owner. He was like, yeah, man, I don't charge anything less than like $1,000 to get in here. And I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't paying that much. I was like, look, you get the door. Or not the door. I was like, you get the drink money.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah, it was bad. I just had to avoid him the rest of the night. Never did an event there. It was horrible. But that's crazy.
I never paid Thunderbirds no attention, and all the time that I was in the multiple spaces I was in, Thunderbird never popped up on my radar.
That's crazy.
And that's what makes it even more interesting that they grew that event out of Thunderbird. Because I think they were there for a long time. Like you said, it seemed to us, it seemed like they came out of nowhere, but I think from when I heard the histories, like they were growing that event at Thunderbird for a couple years before we started hearing about it.
And that makes sense. Like based on the crowd that they have now, I mean, you would have to build that up slowly.
Yeah. And that comes back to consistency. I had that conversation with my circle all the time is, you know, everything comes back to consistency. You got to do things over time. When you think about all the greats in entertainment, all the celebrities, they kept doing the same routine over and over again.
Yeah.
Consistently, different spaces, same routine.
Yeah.
They might test out different, like comedians might test out different jokes, or they might test out different songs. The artists might test out different songs, but they would pretty much stick to the same thing over and over again. Yeah. And it just grew legs. It just grew legs over time.
I'm hoping that that concept worked for this podcast.
I think. And ultimately, that's what it is. But I just had that conversation with somebody too. That's the struggle with podcasts in general. Yeah. We all started navigating to the podcast because a lot of people have been finding success with it. But the people who have found success with it, everybody has to remember they've done it for a long time. Yeah. Yeah. Before they got that success. Yeah. So if you're not going to be down to do it for 5 years,
it ain't worth it.
It's probably not for you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for me, the way I'm attacking this is like I know who my ideal audience member is. Yeah. And I just want to curate, you know, kind of chisel out that lane, that direction I want to go in, and collect individual audience members that I'm targeting, you know, even if it's one at a time as we move, you know, over time. So now it's like a mixture of, we want the numbers, right? Because the numbers are what get you monetized.
Right.
No matter if, you know, people are watching or not, Instagram wants you to have 10,000 people before you cross that content monetization threshold. And no matter if it's on short clips or long form podcast listens, YouTube, you got to have, it's like 4,000 watch hours and maybe 1,000 subscribers, something like that. So even if your subscribers ain't watching the content, you got to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers in order to be monetized. So my thing is, I want the super fans. If I have 500 super fans, that's, you know, we're putting out an ebook. We about to sell these Play Cousin hoodies and t-shirts. We might come to your city and, you know, do a book signing or something. Like,
yeah, that's when you start getting into the merchandise, and the merchandise make the money.
And there's so much more to it. So much more like opportunities to create from there. So like the LLC that owns or operates the podcast is actually a film and media company.
Okay.
So I started with the whole intent of doing documentaries.
Okay, yeah, dope.
So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm collecting stories from Pittsburgh's hip hop, like how we came, the history of it, how we came over time. So I'm interviewing people, hey, what's your background, earlier years? Tell me your story, blah, blah, blah. This is going to help me to navigate when it comes time to do these documentaries. So in Pittsburgh, there's like, you know, it could be an individual documentary, like, hey, tell me your story of, you know, Rough Kim, Almighty, whatever.
Okay. Crazy.
Exactly. So you got that, but then you also have racism in Pittsburgh, and the separation between the working class and, you know, the front office, where in environments like steel mills and stuff like that, you have like your administrative white collar workers, and then you have the shop workers. There's always a separation of class there.
Yeah.
Racism in general has always been a thing. Racism and classism just overall.
Yeah.
But there's so much content in there in terms of documentaries and stuff. So that ideally, that's really where I wanted to go.
Okay.
And it was like, rather than just jumping into film work, what can I do to really put some oomph, like under my name, under what I'm doing?
To build it up.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I started the Film and Media LLC, and it was like, all right, podcast is going to be the first venture.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's essentially what it comes down to is like you said, you got your plan, you got your strategy, and once you lay it all out, it just builds up on itself until over time it turns into what you need it to be. And ultimately you did it as starting a business, which, and like I said, it's a 5-year journey, because that's what they say about businesses. You either going to find success or not within 5 years. Yeah. You know, and I don't even like to say it's going to fail. It's like you either going to find success in 5 years, or it's going to take you longer. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
I see it like that. It's almost like I take the perception of either I'm going to find success or I'm going to quit. Because there's no time limit on succeeding to me.
No, there isn't.
Like, somebody, you could, could you rebuild this car by yourself with no help? Sure. It might take me a long time, to learn and figure out what part to go where. Yeah. Whether it takes, a month or 25 years.
Yeah.
I could do it if I put the time into doing it. And that's all success is to me.
Because think about science. Like, people will spend their whole life just for one idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like that's exactly what it is. Like, there's no end to success. Like, you get there when you get there.
Right.
That's why they always say it's about the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I always try to tell myself, like, you got to find your way to fall in love with the journey, because that's what's going to keep you going.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's always what I try to work on, is finding out what part of the journey I could fall in love with. Yeah. Because I'm an end result type of person. Like, I want to see the end result. Yeah. That's really what I want. That's what everybody wants, is the end result.
Yeah.
But it's the journey that you got to hold on to, because that's the only thing that keeps you really going. Yeah. And like you said, one of the things that keep me going is the fact that there's no time limit on success, like you said. So that alone keeps me going, because you only need that one success.
That's a problem too. Not problem, but kind of like an issue. The journey, where, I mean, especially for me now, like, the days are a blur.
Right.
And I'm sure, like, you understand. So just to give you a better perspective, right? I started in November. I scheduled out 2 interviews per week, because I wanted to release 1 interview per week, and I wanted to be prepared if somebody canceled or if I was sick or something like that. So just imagine doing 2 interviews per week while you still work full time. I got a wife, I got kids, I got, like, other stuff I'm supposed to be doing. Each interview is 2 to 3 hours, where I'm not like a excellent editor. I'm kind of like learning a little bit as I'm going.
Editing is a challenge in itself.
Bro. Where it's literally, okay, we'll say Saturday and Sunday. Let's just say Saturday and Sunday I'm out with the family, right? I got Monday to edit for next week's episode. So I get home from work maybe around, we'll say 5. You got dinner, usually takes a half hour unless I'm eating, like, while I'm editing.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be in the bed around like 9, 10, because I got to get up at 5 in the morning.
Okay. That's
going to leave me optimally maybe, I got to transfer the files to the computer.
Yeah, you still got to transfer the files.
So that's going to take at least an hour, because I'm running 3 cameras, right?
Right.
So maybe 3 hours, 3 to 4 tops. 3 to 4 hours to edit, and you got to edit all the way through while you're learning it. And it's like, pushing the buttons back and forth on the multicam, but you go a little bit forward, you got to rewind. Wait, did I say this? Got to rewind. Right, it looks out of sync there, got to rewind. By the time it gets to end of Monday, I still got an hour to go on that, right? Tuesday and Wednesday are both interviews where I get home at 10 o'clock, basically bedtime. I now have Thursday. Thursday, we'll say I finish it. Friday, I got to do all the color grading. I also need to do all the clips.
Yep.
I also need to do the thumbnails. I also need to render it, which takes 2 hours because it's 4K video.
All right.
I also need to render the Spotify version and the audio version.
All right.
So Saturday morning, just before it releases, I'm uploading to YouTube literally at like 10 a.m. and it's supposed to release at 12. And then I have to do the same thing all over again the next week.
Next one.
And that's, when I say it's like a blur, it's like people's hit me up, yo, can I get an interview? What are you doing this week? Like, nah, dog.
Said, no, that's scheduled out.
Like, what you doing in June? Shit.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man, because I got, I can't even count the number of episodes that I have to do. I think I got overall from all the shows that I do, because I do multiple shows right now. So one show is called UWebTv Youth Matters that I do with the kids.
Okay.
So we got at least 5 episodes that I have to edit for that. Then we do a financial literacy show with my man Tyler Culverson, TC, Financial Literacy with TC. We got 3 episodes for that. I do.
How often? Is this like weekly? Or?
So his is on pause right now because the one with the kids kind of took over. And I was supposed to have an editor. I was in the process of hiring an editor, but then I had to change directions and get help elsewhere for another part of the business. So then, so basically, because of that, I put that on pause for a moment. So once we get back to that, it'll probably be monthly starting back up. We'll probably only do it monthly. But when we film, we primarily do 3 episodes at a time. So that helps me load up on episodes before we have to meet again. Okay. So we do kind of like 3 episodes at a time for that. But we probably film only once a month. But then I have the Forest Funds, which I do a podcast for them as well. We took a hiatus on that one as well. But we're about to pick that one back up soon, which is called The Pivot. I was going to keep, we might workshop the name because you probably was going to say you feel like you heard that name before. So there's a sports show out there called The Pivot that's real popular.
Oh, yeah, the one with Ryan Clark.
Yeah. So I was thinking about we may have to change the name a little bit, but we might not. Because this one is more business and technology and nonprofits. That's what that podcast is about. Okay. But we'll probably pick that back up with Jordan Gilliam. He's the host for that one. And then we have probably like 3 to 4 episodes for that I still have to edit. So I have a long list in front of me right now that we have to catch up on, that I prefer to catch up before the end of May.
How's your editing process? Like, do you have any tips or tricks that I might be able to borrow, or maybe the audience?
No real big tips and tricks. The only tip that I would have right now, more so, that would be different than what you may be doing, is if you haven't used AI yet.
No.
AI is definitely a big help.
Well, I do use some form of AI for the clips, so I use Opus Clips.
So Opus Clips is good. I use a different one. I just blanked on me what it's called. I always forget what that one is called. But Opus Clips is good. Yeah, it's paid. But Opus Clips is good too. Opus Clips is good.
Yeah, it has its issues.
So this is the thing about using Opus Clips or any of those clip generators. It's not, I feel like depending on what type of podcast you have, it's not good with framing. When you go from wide to tight to wide, it's not going to frame it, nor is it going to frame it in a creative way, right? So what I like to do, which takes a lot more time, is I'll take my edit, I'll copy that timeline, and I'll paste it into a new timeline that's formatted for the vertical. And then with that vertical, I'll reframe everything in that vertical timeline, and I'll render that out, then send it to the clip generator.
So I literally did exactly that when I first started.
Yeah.
I need to do something with that. I'm about to just pull it off the fucking wall.
Yeah, it might.
Oh my
as
God.
I said, it might have to just be down.
Right? I'm fucking tired of technical difficulties.
Right? Say it doesn't want to work right.
Technical difficulties, don't mind that.
Right.
We're gonna work it out.
But you said you did the same thing?
Yeah, so what I did initially was I did everything in 16:9 4K, and then I would do the same thing, but I would reframe it into vertical. And then I learned that it had a button that you could, like, you drop in a video and you could just click which one do you want, 16:9 or 9:16. And then it has a tracking option where, because like you said, the framing sucks. So like if you go from vertical to horizontal or whatever, it'll have you like all the way on the left side of the screen and stuff.
Yeah.
If you go back through it with the tracking, sometimes you gotta do it a couple times. It's like,
Yeah, by the time you do all that, if you just do the edit yourself, and then you can have it creatively exactly how you want it to look vertically, and then clip it up.
then it's worth it. See, I don't like when you make a clip, the way that you're able to edit after the clip is made. So like you can only add like one overlay, I think, where like for example, I wanted to put two logos overlapping.
You talking about Opus clip?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that, and then I wanted to put a photo on and have a song playing in the background.
Okay.
And then like render it out as a video. Wouldn't let me do that either.
So, and that's the thing. I would do all that in the editing software. What editing software do you use? Resolve. Yeah, I would just do everything in the editing software. Because I mean, AI is AI, and like I tell the kids this all the time. Like, you use AI if you want to, but AI is not really a creative tool. Like, it's going to give you what it can give you based on what you tell it. Right? But it's not going to be creative for you. You know what I mean? It's just outputting information that you're putting in.
Okay.
That's not creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you want to be creative with it, you pretty much have to do that separately. And then for somebody like Opus Clip, you send it through Opus Clip and then just clip it up, because then everything is there.
Right.
Like that's all it has to do is clip it up, and then it could give you the descriptions, whatever the case may be. And if you want to use the descriptions, you can, or change them up, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, it's just easier, and sometimes it might be faster. Just go and just do your edit.
That makes sense. That definitely does.
Yeah, because it'll rack your brain trying to convince AI to do it exactly how you want to do it.
And you know what? You're definitely right, because it's like it'll be a Friday and I'm rushing and it's like I need the quickest solution to get these clips done. And I spend so much time on the clips that it's not even working the way that I wanted to. If I would have just did it all in Resolve, I'd have been fine.
Yep.
Same thing with thumbnails. I've tried doing thumbnails in like ChatGPT or Gemini or something like that. I could have just went to Canva and you
just
know,
put it together. Yep.
Put it together. And
you get a freeze frame from the video.
Yeah.
And then whatever elements you want to add on top of that in Canva, just do it. Yeah. Yep. A whole lot. Because I mean, that's the thing. Like sometimes you'll get some cool stuff out of AI, and it depends on what AI you're using too, because all of them are different.
Right.
I think I just saw some advertisements for a video AI that's supposed to be much better than others, and all of them will keep on doing that. Like they'll give you some iteration to say, "Oh, this one's better." Yeah. And I still don't understand why. Like I understand, but I still understand why Sora won't remove the watermark for the Sora 2.0, the newest one.
Is that for the that's for the unpaid version, isn't it?
I'm not sure if it's for the unpaid version or if they just generally won't remove it. I would have to look back into that. But if it is just for the unpaid one, then that would make sense.
I feel like that's probably
because I know for me, I have the $20 version of the Sora.
Okay.
Then they have the 2.0, but maybe you still have to get the $200 version to remove the watermark. That's
so
a possibility.
You have it in the $20 one. The watermark is there.
No. So in the new one, but if you go back to the classic Sora, it's not there. So the new Sora, the 2.0, they still have the watermark on it.
What do you use Sora for?
So I use Sora to create different video clips every once in a while. I use it to that's primarily it. Like so, I use it on a documentary. So when you're looking for stock footage, sometimes it's hard to find, and you know, like you said, you crunch for time, and you go into Sora and say, "Hey, give me this clip that has somebody raising their hand like they're in school talking to the teacher."
For like B-roll footage.
Yep, for B-roll footage. And sometimes you'll get something that works, and sometimes it's going to take a little bit more work to get something.
Might get somebody with like 7 fingers.
Yeah. So you actually had Key Johnson on here.
Yeah.
And, you know, I helped him with his short film.
Yeah.
And one of the projects, one of the clips is we need an exterior of a building. So I'm trying to use AI to get that exterior building. My first attempt, didn't like it. So I'm probably on attempt number 5. You know what I mean? And it slows down the editing process. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to get this clip, and it's not working out exactly the way I see it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to move forward without it. So, but now temperature's getting nicer again, so I might just go film it.
Does it is it, well, first, does it take a long time to give you the video, like processing or whatever?
For the AI clips?
Yeah.
No.
And does it give you long clips? Like, is there a limit for the amount of time?
Like 10, 15 seconds. Yeah,
Could you, like, if you're patient enough and you get the right prompting, could you make like a whole short film or
you
music
can make a
video?
whole. Yeah, if you put in the right prompts and you know how to tell it exactly what you need, then you can make a whole short film out of just AI. That's what
15-second segments,
clips at a time. Yep. So, because I mean, you gotta remember that's pretty much what films are anyway.
Yeah.
Films are multiple clips.
Right.
You know, they're sequences.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's shot by shot. So it's the same thing if you use AI. You're literally just creating shot by shot and putting together sequences to reach that film. So in the film, you might have 100 sequences. You know, so it's going to take some time, but you could do it.
Is that the
and
one?
It might be faster than actually filming.
Is this the same one that you can like load an image into it and then it'll like animate the image and
Yeah, Sora says it could do that. Yeah, Sora, you could do that in Sora. Now, again, there's a lot of different versions out there of video clip generators, AI clip generators. Like, because I believe Veed is another one.
Okay.
And then, of course, you have Google's version. But they all kind of require you to put in the right prompt. Some of them are stronger than others. Some of them might do better than others. I haven't tried out Vimeo. I think that's the Google version. So I don't know exactly what it can do, but I've heard it can do some cool things.
I'm about to look into that.
Yeah. It's definitely something to play around with. Jordan Gilliam, he does a lot of AI. He works on a lot of AI programs. He would be a good person to talk to for those type of projects. He's real familiar with the AI programs. Now, I don't know how often he used the video ones, but he's pretty familiar with a good bit of them.
I wanted to skip around a little bit as we get near to the end time. I want to make sure we talk about the youth project that you're working on. You able to go into depth about that a little bit? Yeah.
So one of the shows I'm trying to create is a show centered around kids, a talk show, because nowadays, especially in Pittsburgh, there's not too many kids that have a voice, right? Some of them are starting to go to YouTube and create their own content, but I want to have a show where they get to express the things that they like, the things that they have issues with, things that they want to change in the city, and have this central show where all the teens and all the kids could come together to say, yo, this represents us. So with that in mind, I decided to incorporate that with training them how to do video production. And in that piece, we teach them how to actually operate a camera, how to direct, how to produce, how to be the technical director, which is the person who does the switching of the camera angles. And we actually work with wardrobe. We bring in wardrobe to help them learn from wardrobe. We help them learn from the hair and makeup. They get to learn all the elements, even down to the script writing that's involved in creating a talk show. And we go into the schools, we go into the summer programs, and we teach them how to do this talk show. And then we give them the opportunity to shadow freelance professionals to make the show. And they get to make the show. So it's their voice. They come up with the ideas with guidance, and we let them get a chance to work on it. So they're the host on the show, and they're working with they're shadowing the professionals behind the scenes to operate the camera and to be the technical director, switching the different angles. They get to do all parts. And so far, like I said, we're about 8 episodes in so far. Wow. We have in the process of editing episode 3 now, which was pretty much a talent show for the one school. Because there are still talent shows happening individually at the individual schools. If people didn't notice that, because it's been a while since we had a real good talent show. Right. And that's actually another thing that I'm actually working on now too. If no one else beats me to it, now that I put it out there.
We try to on here I try to encourage the removal of the gatekeeping and sharing knowledge and stuff like that. But don't nobody steal the idea, man.
You know what I mean? Hey, if you feel you could do it the right way, hey, just give me a call. I'll come join you on the ride.
Nice.
You know what I mean? But I think that's definitely something that needs to happen too. But with this show, we get a chance to teach the kids how to do what we do, and the goal is to bring it up to a network level, so that eventually, not only are they just learning how to do this in the schools, but they're actually doing it on a network set. So possibly partner with BET and actually put the show, if nowhere else, on BET Plus, and get that chance to show the kids how to do it on that level.
That is dope.
And create a workforce pipeline too.
Yeah.
So they're not just learning by the time they get out of high school, they could just work. They could work for our show, number one, or they could actually go work on local films in the city, or go to LA, Atlanta, or New York and work on film sets there based on what we taught them. So, and they get to come out of school with a portfolio on top of that.
Right.
Because if you hosted the show, now you got a hosting reel.
Right.
And if you were the camera operator on the show, now you have a resume saying you were a camera operator. And how many 8th or 9th graders could say that? Right.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right? Like,
crazy.
I was a camera operator in 9th grade. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So that's what we're working on now, and it's called UWebTv Youth Matters. If you ever want to see the episodes, it's on uwebtv.com.
I'm definitely tapping in. So you say when I tap into UWebTV, I ain't gonna have to pay no subscription fee.
No, it's all right now. It's all free.
You know what? All right, we gotta make this a quick answer. I definitely need to know this. The streaming from the website, on your own website. So like everyone that I researched and looked into, the idea of a podcast always goes back to, why don't you just have your own website and put it on your own website? And I'm like, you know how much it would cost? Like, each one of these is what? Maybe somewhere between 40 and 100 gigs?
Yeah, you gotta have the infrastructure to truly stream on your own.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. We do not have a server. We do not stream on our own. But we do use other sources for our content. We do not post it on YouTube. We post it on Vimeo. Vimeo gives you more control over your content. They're not going to sit there and have you sign away permission to use your content in whatever promotion they want to.
Right.
You know, Vimeo is strictly private, and most times you have to pay for it. They have a free version, obviously, but once you start getting into more content, then you have to pay for the upper level.
Do they pay you? Is there any monetization or anything?
You can monetize your own content yourself. You collect all the money. So that's the beauty of Vimeo. Vimeo is really the place, if you're a content creator, that's really where you want your content to live. Of course, there's always going to be a purpose for YouTube. YouTube is where it's at. That's where everyone is.
Right.
They have the bigger audience, of course. So it's better to be on YouTube for the audience. But with all that being said, I think there's a strategy that you could put in play that utilize both, because that's what I do. So my goal is my content lives on my website as long as I choose, which will probably be like a month or 2 months, and then it eventually find its way on YouTube. But that's when I feel like, all right, well, I got all I want out of it, so now I'm gonna put it on YouTube and let YouTube do what it do.
Right. Okay. So Vimeo versus like a Patreon.
Yep, Patreon. So Vimeo and Patreon isn't that far apart.
Okay.
I think Patreon is different in the sense of you get subscribers, right? So Vimeo is really just housing your content, whereas Patreon is actually helping you manage your subscribers as well.
So you could basically turn your own website into a quote unquote Patreon with Vimeo, and you could have some third party widget or app or something that
handle the subscriptions,
handles the subscribers or whatever else.
Yeah.
Do like pay per video or however you want to do it, right?
Yep, you set it up however you want to. And that's the beauty of it. Like when you're using Vimeo, it gives you the ability to set things up however you want. That's why I chose Vimeo. There may be some other sites out there similar, but I'm comfortable with Vimeo for now.
For your UWebTv website, do you sell ad space?
Not currently. I don't sell any ad space currently, but at some point for our individual shows, we will be selling commercial time. So we won't sell ad space on the website. It'll be commercial time within the shows themselves.
Yeah, I'm trying to find someone that I met someone that I won't be able to interview him anytime soon, but someone that sells ad space on the website to try to learn the ins and outs of it and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of like, so Soul Pit, that's a website that they're constantly selling ads on their website.
Yeah, they still operate.
Yeah, they still operate. And I sometimes I'm surprised. Most people don't think about it as much anymore. Because at one time they were, like everybody was talking about Soul Pit. But people don't think about them as much anymore as far as their website is. And I guess because their website, it's been a while since I've been to the website. And maybe it hasn't transformed as much with the times. So maybe that's why people don't think about it as much. But they're still around.
I got an interview.
Definitely still around.
I was interviewed by, I think her name was Benita.
Yeah. Benita Penn,
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yep, I want to say she still writes for the magazine.
Yeah.
So, she still writes for the magazine. So, they're still selling their advertising on their website and everything. They do a lot of e-blast still too.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Which is another a good form of marketing, which I'm working on utilizing more myself.
Yeah.
Just doing newsletters and e-blasts, because, like you said, once you get your core audience, every month or every quarter you send them updates. Every once in a while you'll get some incidents where I think I got a person who said, because they didn't recall subscribing to my email list. Yeah. So they's like, I didn't subscribe to your email list, but they didn't realize that they signed up through a contest that we had. They signed up through a contest that we had, but they felt like they didn't sign up for the email list. So, they removed themselves, of course.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Last question, and I feel like I definitely, we're gonna schedule another one to get more in depth, especially without the technical difficulties.
Right.
We're gonna schedule another one because there's a few things I wanted to get in depth with, but we're getting kind of late, running out of time. So last question for you: are you successful?
Yeah, I feel that I'm successful. I kind of get to choose what I want to do. And right now I choose to teach the kids, and I'm building out a business model that I feel will be able to grow and become bigger than myself. So I think I would say that I'm successful.
I like it. I like it. That I would, not saying like I need to agree or anything, but like if I was putting myself in your shoes, seeing through your eyes, like I would agree. I like I said earlier, like I feel like that's fairly successful.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm trying to get like you, man.
I mean, there's resources that I don't even feel like I fully utilize, and there's relationships that I haven't tested. So, and at some point, I probably will test them.
Listen,
we'll see.
when I say I want to do this again, there are so many questions. Like I have a whole list right here of like film work, like to like dig into your knowledge of like cameras, 8-bit versus 10 and 12, distribution through Netflix and Tubi, color science, skits, writing scripts. How hard is it to make a movie? Like there's so much
I didn't
more.
even get into none of the, because like I said, I've been working on several different film projects for people as a DP, director of photography, and you know, I edited short films and like you said, with skits, and I was doing skits when I was in college. You know, I actually was working on Pitt TV when I was in college, so.
We're going to do another one.
Right.
No worries.
There's definitely more to it.
Bro, I seriously appreciate you for coming, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You know, it's not all the time you get to tell your story, so I was glad you pretty much one of the first platforms I kind of really told my story. Yeah.
Wow, that's what's up. Not a whole, whoever watches this is going to know you as a rapper first. Huh?
The rap piece is crazy. Like I said, I still got the books in the basement and the tape.
Nice.
Yeah, they don't know that. Now you do.
Oh, man. Y'all know what it is. It's the Play Cousin right here, Mr. BD, Brett Allen, UWebTV. It's Kalaj Dame. See y'all next time.
Late nights, real talks, turn the noise down. Welcome to Kalaj Dame. City lights, long days, heavy on the mind. Everybody talking, but they never take the time. Truth in my chest, I don't sugarcoat pain. If you sitting at the table, you gotta show your face. Conversations deeper than the surface, we've been shown. Ain't here to sell a dream, just to show you what I know. Every voice matters, every story got away. If you living it for real, you gon' feel this pain. No scripts, no frames, just heart and time. If you listen close, you might change your mind. We don't argue just to win debates. We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast, where the real don't gotta broadcast. Every truth gotta pass, every voice gotta lane. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast. Pull a seat, let the walls crack. If you ever felt unseen, you gon' feel your name. Yeah. From the block to the boardroom, same questions asked. Why we build so fast, we never heal the past. I don't play judge, I don't play your role. I just let you talk while the story unfolds. Bridging gaps, they pretend they there. Men and women trying to meet halfway, no filter. For respect, stay intact. If it hit too